mean, the Belmont Report, as we know, is just, it's one of these simple, elegant, short, to the point, will be relied on forever kind of reports. Its simplicity and its elegance make it exceedingly useful. It's hard to argue with respect for persons, beneficence, and justice. I mean, those will never go out of favor, I'm sure. I do think that some of these new technologies and our current problems that we face in medicine, science, and engineering and other moving healthcare forward bring us some new challenges that we need to think about or frame with some other kinds of concepts, particularly things like intellectual freedom, for example. This one of the principles that the Commission felt strongly about in their synthetic biology and the new technologies report was, how do we ensure that scientists have the freedom to do what they need to do intellectually and create? And, I was talking before about being, kind of jazzed about the creative, and this is exceedingly important for science. If scientists can't be energized by their creativity, they're not going to do well. I mean, they can't do good work if they're not creating and thinking and letting things happen. And so the intellectual freedom, which also comes with responsibility, clearly, that is a principle they've relied a lot on throughout the new technologies reports, including the privacy and whole genome sequencing. So that's something I think that, while it didn't come up really that much in the Belmont Report, is really something we think a lot about. And then, given that we live in a time where there are a lot of laws and there are a lot of regulations and there's a lot of restriction, we also, the Commission really feels that a big part of that intellectual freedom and responsibility is this idea of regulatory parsimony, that we have as few regulations and that the regulations we do have are as little as they need to be, as least hampering as they need to be to ensure that the science is done in an ethical and positive way. So I do think that as we move forward, we'll find some need for additional principles, but it's hard to argue with ethics, which has been around for over 2,000 years. I mean, in the 1890s, when we were talking about, Warren and Brandeis had a groundbreaking article about privacy and new technologies, which we just put 2 reports out about that in the 2000s. So, and what they were talking about was photography and printing, right? All of a sudden, there was hysteria that all of your privacy is out the window because someone can take a photograph of you and print it and distribute it to lots and lots of people. I can't imagine what they would have said had they discovered the internet by then, had Facebook to contend with. But, so the issues are the same. It's just that right now we have the speed with which things are distributed and the the impossibility of reeling anything back. I mean, these are new twists that I think we will contend with that might involve having to think about new considerations.